Hey, what up, guys? Just coming to you again this morning. We're doing the What's Next on Triple G Gennady Golovkin. One of my favorite fighters in boxing for the last few years, but especially right now. Big fan of Triple G's. I think he's, still at the top of his game. He fought in the main event of a DAZN card back on June 8th when he took on undefeated but little-known Steve Rolls. And he rolled, as I said before, he rolled over Rolls, dominating him with a fourth-round knockout win. Impressive performance. It happened just north of 160, the middleweight limit. He fought him at like 164, I believe. Good performance, good strong performance. It was the first fight of his 6-fight DAZN deal, which is worth over $100 million. So big-time, performance right there. Got a nice win. So question now is, what's next for Triple G Gennady Golovkin? Well, obviously, he's doing the Canelo dance. He's going to go based off of what Canelo does. So, I do think he's the favorite pick for a third fight with Canelo to happen in September. But does Canelo want that? Canelo's expressed interest, but he's also kind of said he's done with Triple G. In his mind, he would only do it for the fans. Canelo's pretty much going to make the same amount of money for every fight, so he seems like he's in a better position to negotiate the fights that he wants than he even was before, because he's pretty much going to make the same amount of money for every fight, which is, I think, just north of $32 million, around 33, I think is what he's making per fight now. That's not to mention the gate, at every place that he fights, how much he's going to be pulling in off of that. But, he's got a lot working for him, does Canelo, in terms of his power. He can fight whoever he wants. I know Triple G wants that third fight desperately. But what are the other options besides a Canelo fight, the obvious one, if Canelo goes against that? Well, it really is going to depend on what Canelo decides to do, because if he doesn't get that fight, I think Triple G would be into facing Demetrius Andrade for the WBO title. But to be honest, I think the only fight that Canelo would pass up Triple G for at middleweight is to unify titles and go after the undisputed crown against Demetrius Andrade. So what if Canelo chooses Andrade instead of Triple G? Then what does Triple G do after that? That's an interesting question, because there's not a lot of big-name options, and there wouldn't be any world titles at stake. So Triple G would really have to sit back and look. I think the fight that would make the most sense for Triple G would be Jermall Charlo at 160. Charlo's undefeated. That would mandate a world title fight, because it would be for the interim WBC title, so it would mandate a fight with Canelo next May. And that should be what, because Charlo said he's down to face him. So I don't see why Triple G wouldn't go after the Charlo fight. The other top guys at middleweight wouldn't make any sense. He already beat Danny Jacobs. He says he's not interested in that fight, a rematch. No titles at stake. He already got the win. It was a close fight the first time. Why take that risk if you're Triple G? There's also, after Charlo, after Andrade and Charlo, the other options at 160 are David Lemieux. Rob Brant has a small piece of the world title, the WBA regular belt. If he beats Ryota Murata in a rematch, or Ryota Murata wins, I guess that's an option for Triple G. He could fight for the vacant IBF title if Canelo's going to give up that belt instead of facing Sergey Derevyanchenko. That's what Danny Jacobs did this, last year. The belt went vacant. He fought Derevyanchenko. He won the world title, and that led to a unification bout, which Canelo again would be into. So, he's got options at 160. I don't know if he wants to move up to 168, if that makes sense for him right now. I think it'd be a risk, and he wouldn't be making a lot of money going up and facing one of those guys. So I think, again, Charlo would be the best option. I think the winner of the Rob Brant Ryota Murata fight at 160 would be a good option. Again, guys at the back of the top 10. A Derevyanchenko vacant IBF title fight after Canelo vacates that belt, which he's likely going to do after his next fight in September. you know, again, obviously Canelo's his best option. But, you know, anybody else in the back of the top 10 that I think, you know, again, you got Murata, you got Suleski, who's supposed to fight. I really don't see anybody else outside of that. I think he needs a push for a bigger name, and I think the best one, if Canelo doesn't get that fight and he can't get Andre in the ring for the WBO title, I think his best bet is going after Jermall Charlo. So that should be it. But I really love Triple G. I think he's still badass. He's still top 5 pound for pound. It makes me laugh that people discredit him so much because of his age, and it's like, well, at his age, if you're putting Canelo number 3 pound for pound, which I think he deserves to be, Triple G probably should have got the nod the first time they fought. And then last year when they fought, it was a razor-thin, great, close fight. I mean, how do you rank Triple G any lower than like 4th or 5th pound for pound? I mean, he's right there. So he's still a great fighter. I really hope he decides what he's going to do next, because he truly is badass. And I do hope that a third fight goes off between him and Canelo. So that's it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.